Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Greyhound DFS. Merry Christmas, first of all. Hope everybody has a happy holiday and gets everything that they want and has a safe holiday. Mine was good. I had the family over for dinner today, and well, about today's video, I'll go team by team and give you the spread and the total points projected for the game, and then I'll tell you about the injuries for the teams, and then will give you 5 players that I'll give you like my top 20 players I like first, and then I'll basically pick 5 out of the top 20 that I like, and that'd be my video. If you get any value out of it, hit the like button. If you ain't already subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload a video. So no more waiting, let's get right into it. So our first game will be Boston and Toronto, and Toronto is the underdog. They're plus 3 points, and the implied total for the game will be 212.5 points. Boston is ranked number 15 in offense and number 2 in defense. Toronto is ranked number 12 in offense and number 8 in defense. As far as injuries, Boston, Marcus Smart is out, Gordon Hayward is questionable, and Robert Williams is out. He's been out, though. I don't know if you'd pick him on fantasy sports anyway, but for Toronto, we got Norman Powell's out, Pascal Siakam's out, and Marc Gasol's out. So that's going to help. Like Terrence Davis is probably going to get more PT. Chris Boucher's been playing, and Serge Ibaka has been starting at center. But I mean, his DK price just keeps going up anyway, so it's like doesn't really. It's not like it was, the first game Marc Gasol was out. But anyway, so my bad. I should have been clicked on this, but yeah, that's all. I'm sorry. And then our next game will be Milwaukee and Philly. So Philly will also be the underdog, and they're favored by 3, and the implied total is 220 points. Milwaukee is number 1 in offense and number 9 in defense. So overall, they're pretty dang good. And then Philly's number 17 in offense and number 5 in defense. So their defense ain't bad either. As far as injuries for Milwaukee, Bledsoe's out. He's been out. And let's see if that's it. I believe that's it. Just on a side note, I'll get there when I get there with Philly. So for Philly, Matisse Thybulle is the only one that's out as of right now. But the side note I was talking about is where is he at? It's Joel Embiid. He was dealing with the illness, but who knows? That just might be them wanting him to rest and just using that as an excuse. But who knows? But he's not questionable or anything. I was just letting you know he was dealing with an illness, so they say. So our next game will be Houston and Golden State, which is one that I cannot personally wait to watch. Like, I just love watching James Harden games. I'm a Golden State fan. I've been a fan of Golden State since Antoine Jameson days. But anyway, Houston versus Golden State. Golden State's the underdog. There's no surprise there. They are plus 11, and the implied total is 226, which I believe is the highest implied total for the slate. And Houston is ranked number 2 in offense and number 23 in defense. Golden State is 26th in offense and 21st in defense. So Golden State has a slight edge on defense, but with James Harden, I mean, there's no defense against him. I mean, that dude damn near unstoppable. Excuse my language. As far as injuries, for Houston, we got Gordon is still out, Gerald Green's still out, and Thabo Sefolosha is questionable. I don't know if anybody's picking him anyway. I don't think he's played in a few years. But for Golden State, Glenn Robinson III is questionable. and I don't know what's wrong with him. And then Kevon Looney is out, probably for rest. They're trying to keep the rest of their team healthy for next season. And then our next game will be the LA Clippers versus the LA Lakers. And the Lakers are actually the favorite for this game. And they're minus 2 points. And the implied total is 221.5. So, should be a defensive battle, I feel like. But I feel like when both teams are defensive teams, but they also have offensive superstars, the defense kind of like falls back a little bit to the offense because it's like nobody can actually guard each other. Like the Clippers, can't nobody guard Anthony Davis. And no, I don't think anybody really can stop Kawhi Leonard, honestly. And LeBron's going to be hard to guard by just one person. And then Paul George is going to be hard to be guarded by one person. So I feel like that implied total, there might be more points than that, but who knows. But the Clippers, they're number 5 in offense and number 14 in defense, so pretty good all around. And then the Lakers are number 10 in offense and number 3 in defense, so they're also good all around. As far as injuries, the Clippers don't have any on the injury report, so they should be good there. And then the Lakers, LeBron's questionable, which he's likely to play though. I've seen on Twitter he's likely to be available though. And then Kyle Kuzma's questionable. I don't know what he's dealing with, probably ankle injury. But Anthony Davis is also questionable, who is definitely dealing with an ankle injury. So just be on the lookout. If you set your lineups, make sure you're there before, especially if you have like a 12 o'clock. I mean, we all got to have our lineups entered by a certain time, by 12 o'clock. But if you got like players that are playing the 12 o'clock game from Boston or Toronto, like be sure you're on that. Don't just set it and forget it. Make sure you're actually paying attention to it, because you don't want to have a guy that's out, and he don't play, and then you don't get any points for him. So be on alert. And then so our fifth game, our night game at 10:30 will be New Orleans and Denver. And Denver is favored by 9.5 points. And the implied total is 218.5. New Orleans is number 14 in offense and number 28 in defense. And then Denver is 22nd in offense and number 1 in defense. So I don't know what to do here. I'll probably just stay away from it. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with Tatum. I mean, not Tatum, I'm tripping. Sorry, I was looking at my notes. You can't go wrong with Ingram. And I feel like the big man, Nikola Jokic, is going to do good. Paul Millsap probably too. But Derek Favors, I don't know if he'd do it. I don't know. But, yeah, that's the game. As far as injuries, I did not do any injuries for this game. I feel like I didn't even make it this game. But all the same people are out. Zion's out. Darius Miller's out. I don't think Darius Miller played all year. But I can't wait to see Zion out there. I wonder what he's going to do. This dude looks like the Incredible Hulk when he's standing next to Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram. Like, them guys look super skinny next to him. It looks crazy. It's ridiculous. But now I'm going to give you, let me see, my top 20 players really, really quick. So, basically my top 20 players, I'm not going to go in any order. It might be like 22 people. I'm going to give you who they are and what I'm going to tell you their projected points for the game and like the rank of the defense against their position and the team defense. So for James Harden, James Harden is projected for 61 fantasy points, and Golden State is ranked 24th against his position and 20th overall. And I mean, I'm not going to read James Harden's recent fantasy stats. You know what they are. Like, it's ridiculous. The dude's averaging almost 39 points a game. And he's playing against Golden State, who are defensively limited. So, you can't go wrong with him. However, do you want to pay that $11,600? I'm not sure. And then we got Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak monster. He is projected for 59 fantasy points against Philadelphia. And that's 2 less than he averages. Philadelphia is ranked second against his position and ranked first overall. And I don't have to read his fantasy points, the last few games either. You know what it is, too. It's ridiculous. I mean, the man averages 61. He can get you an 83. And that was against a good defensive team in Utah. So, can't go wrong there either. And obviously, Anthony Davis, if he plays. Anthony Davis is projected for 54 fantasy points. The Clippers are ranked 17th against his position and 13th overall. So the people that be guarding him will probably be, I could see, let me see here. I can see McGee, who else? Dwight Howard coming off the bench. And that's all I can see who would be trying to check him. I mean, Paul George is too little. Kawhi Leonard's too little, so this guy's been averaging some stuff too. I mean, you see what his fantasy points are. Then you got LeBron James, all around one of the greatest players of all time. But he's projected for 56 fantasy points. The Clippers are ranked 7th against his position just because they got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I mean, them two dudes are studs on defense and as well as offense. But the Clippers' total defense is 13. So, but he's only 9'9". So I mean, if he plays, shoot, get him. And then Joel Embiid, he's projected for 48 fantasy points against Milwaukee. Milwaukee's got some pretty big bigs, and they'll give him a hard time, that's for sure. But he's a monster. So Milwaukee's ranked 9th against his position and 11th overall. His last 3 was 41, 45, 63. So he's been playing out of his mind as well. Then we got Nikola Jokic, the Joker. And he's projected for 44 fantasy points. New Orleans is ranked 18th against his position and 26th overall. This guy could get a triple-double against New Orleans. The reason I probably won't pick him is because the blowout risk. I feel like they might blow New Orleans out. But then again, I don't know. None of us do, Excuse me. Sorry about that. Then we got Kawhi Leonard. No, Russell Westbrook, sorry. I like Russell Westbrook today. He's one of my 5 picks. My 5 players I'm going to give you. Russell Westbrook is projected for 50 fantasy points. And Golden State is 24th against his position and 20th overall. I like Russell Westbrook. He's still killing it, even though he's, got the ball in his hands second. Like, this guy's second option. And he's still killing it. So, I'm going with him today. For sure. Now we got Kawhi Leonard. I feel like this game's going to be close. I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to blow each other out. So, I feel like he's going to get his full run. 32, 33 minutes, hopefully. Hopefully LeBron plays. But Kawhi is projected for 46 fantasy points. The Lakers are second overall on defense against his position and second overall total defense. And his last 3 games was a 55, a 42, and a 32. Then he had a 47 in Game 4. Like, he's playing good ball too. I like Kawhi Leonard. Excuse me. Then we got Kyle Lowry. He's projected for 43 fantasy points. Boston is ranked 5th against his position and 3rd overall. So, I don't know. Kawhi Leonard is. I keep saying that. Kyle Lowry is a champion though. So Boston ain't no championship. They're a championship team, I believe, but they haven't done anything so far, So I feel like he's got a little edge there. So he's cheap too. He's only 8,500. So he's not that cheap, to make me be like, oh, I got to get him. That's a steal. Then we got Ben Simmons here. I like Ben Simmons. I wish he had a jumper though, but I don't really wish for that, but then it'd be all bad for the NBA for real, probably. But he's projected for 40 fantasy points. Milwaukee's ranked 17th against his position and 11th overall. His last 3 games was 60, a 47, and a 35. Then we got, Kimball Walker. Kimball Walker is projected for 40 fantasy points. Toronto is ranked 13th against his position and 14th overall. His last 3 games was a 31, a 22, and a 45. He's been playing decent last few games, I guess. Except for that game, he literally had 2 points. Just killed all my stuff. Then we got Paul George. Paul George is projected for 41 fantasy points. However, the Lakers are ranked 2nd against his position and 2nd overall total defense. So, and he had a piss poor game. He had a pretty bad game last time out. So, but he's cheap. He's only $7,900. I mean, this dude can get you a 60 for $7,900. That's like an $11,000 player to get you 60. But I don't think he's gonna do it against the Lakers. But then again, you never know. But his last 3 games was a 27, a 22, and a 59. Then we got Jason Tatum, who is one of my 5 players. Jason Tatum is projected for 39 fantasy points. Toronto is ranked 22nd against his position and 14th against the total defense. Sorry. And there's no Pascal Siakam. There's no Marc Gasol. It's backups. Subs. So I like this dude today. And he's only 7,800. You can't beat that. Then you got Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is projected for 43 fantasy points. However, Denver is ranked 4th against his position and 4th in total defense. But he's been playing pretty good all season. He hasn't really had a bad game. So, his last 3 games, fantasy point-wise, was a 45, a 37, and a 56. So, he's not bad, but Denver's got them clamps, though, so I'll be careful. Then we got Clint Capela. Clint Capela is projected for 42 fantasy points. Golden State is ranked 25th against his position because they got Marquise Chris. Kevon Looney ain't been playing center. Well, he's been hurt. And then Draymond Green has been having to play point guard. So, plus he's been hurt. Amari Spellman's like his 2nd-year guy or rookie or something. They just got young guys and not the most talented guys. No disrespect, but it just is what it is. And then we got D'Angelo Russell. Deloading on Instagram, I guess. Anyway, he's projected for 38 fantasy points. And Houston is ranked 8th against his position and 21st overall. So, Houston's defense is trash, too. So, his last 3 games was a 42, a 43, and a 45. I like him today. That's actually another one of my picks. Then we got Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is projected for 40 fantasy points. However, Denver is ranked 6th against his position and 4th in total defense. His last 3 games, he's given you a 39, a 41, and a 30. Then we got Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is projected for 34 fantasy points. New Orleans is ranked 30th against his position and 26th overall. And he's cheap. Even though he's only projected for 34, he might get you 40 or 50 against New Orleans as long as they don't play good like they normally, play how they normally do, then he should be good. But there's that blowout risk there. Then we got Fred VanVleet. I like Fred VanVleet. I hated him in the finals, but I don't mind him now. He is super reliable in DFS. Fred VanVleet is projected for 36 fantasy points. Boston is ranked 5th against his position and 3rd overall. His last 3 games was a 48, a 15, and a 42. He had a couple games, 2 games right there because he was hurt. And then I like Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is projected for 35 fantasy points. Toronto is ranked 23rd against his position and 14th in total defense. This guy is only 6,800. Like, he's balling too. Shoot. Then you got Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is projected for 35 fantasy points. However, Milwaukee is ranked 9th against his position and 11th in total defense. So I don't really like him today because he'll be getting guarded by Giannis. Might even stick him. I feel like Giannis might be guarding him, but I don't know. We'll see. His last 3 games was a 54, a 35, and a 12. Then we got Will Barton. Oh, I'm tired. Sorry. Ooh, excuse me. Then we got Will Barton here, and Will Barton is projected for 32 fantasy points. New Orleans is 11th against his position and 26th overall. So his last 3 games period was a 31, a 42, and a 19. So, like, he's not playing bad last 3 games. One of them was against the Lakers, whose defense is pretty good. His worst game out of the last 3 was against Minnesota, and their defense is trash. So, I don't know if that's saying anything about today because New Orleans' defense is trash too, but they like to run, so it'd be a nice little pace up for Denver. And I feel like Jamal Murray might want to run with him. So, Will Barton might want to too, but we'll see. Then we got Chris Middleton. Boom, Chris Middleton. And let me see here. Chris Middleton is projected for 31 fantasy points. Philly's ranked 5th against his position and 1st overall. His last 3 games was a 28, a 44, and a 26. His high was a 44. I think I picked him against the Knicks, actually. Didn't help me win nothing, but I'm pretty sure I did pick him. Now, my next player, I will be looking for... where you at? Uh-oh. Why ain't you right there, man? Oh, 55. Bam. Montrezl Harrell. He's projected for 33 fantasy points. The Lakers' defense is ranked 6th against his position and 2nd in total defense. His last 3 games against OKC, San Antonio, and Houston was 29, 35, and 19. He got the minutes against OKC and Houston, but against San Antonio, he only played 20 minutes, and he still got a 35. Like, that's the highest score out of those 3 games. So, he doesn't really need minutes to score in bunches, but I feel like he does need Lou Will, though. So, but that's like my 22 players that I like total. My total player pool that I read there to you. So, now I'm going to give you my 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My 5 players that I like today. So, today I like Russell Westbrook. I already went over his stats with you, but I'll tell you again, I guess. Westbrook is projected for 50 fantasy points today. He's playing Golden State. You can't really, in my eyes, you can't really go wrong there. Then at shooting guard, we got Jaylen Brown. Toronto is beat up. Toronto's beat up. They're missing their starting center. They're missing their starting power forward. They're missing Norman Powell, who was starting for a while, but he's like their backup shooting guard, and he's a beast. So I took Jaylen Brown. That's what I'm going to take. I like Jaylen Brown today. I'll tell you what he's projected for again, if you give me 1 second. He is projected for 35 fantasy points. And Toronto's not bad, but they're okay. They got that championship DNA, but they're missing their best player. Then you got Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum he's projected for 39 fantasy points. So his last 3 games was a 67, a 41, and a 37. That's looking good. And he's averaging 34 minutes a game, along with 39 fantasy points. So I feel like he might do his thing. Plus, hopefully the game's close so they get their full run, you know? And then at power forward, I like Kawhi Leonard against the Lakers. Hopefully he gets his full run because the game is close. Only like a 2-point spread. So the game should be close. And Kawhi Leonard, again, he's projected for 46 fantasy points. His last 3 games was a 55, a 42, and a 32. Then he had a 47. He's averaging 31 minutes a game and 47 fantasy points. So he's not a bad pick either. And then my 5th pick that I want to give you guys is none other than, boom, D'Angelo Russell. Although Golden State's defense is bad, they're one spot in the rankings defensively better than the Houston Rockets. So I like D'Angelo Russell today. So I'm gonna tell you again, he's projected for 38 fantasy points. His last 3 games against Minnesota, New Orleans, Portland. I mean, none of them are in the playoffs. So, but he had a 42, a 43, and a 45. So he can get you 80, an 82 at that. So against Houston, who don't really, I mean, they got some good defenders, but I feel like they don't play D. But yeah. Anyway, there's my 5 players that I like for tomorrow's slate. Thank you for watching. If you watched the whole video, anywhere in my video that you think I can improve, leave a comment or hit me up on Twitter at Greyhound DFS. I'll message back. But anyway, if you got any value out of this video, I ask that you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a video. And once again, I appreciate all that. It would help me out a ton. But anyway, good luck on tonight's 5-game slate. And again, let me know in the comments if these players are ludicrous, or if you think of some better players. Like, let me know. Again, hit me up on Twitter, Greyhound DFS. Thanks for watching. Good luck.